welcome back to the next video in the series, Wanda Clark Behind the Scenes and her time with Lucille Ball. So, Wanda, I know you've said before that Lucy was a very hard worker, and she was a real 110%.
Oh yeah, from the first script read to the final shooting of the show. But some people, like Dean Martin, of course, they were good friends. I mean, their boys were Dino, Desi, and Billy. They had the bubblegum group in the mid-60s. The boys were like 12 and 14. But Dean and Lucy were friends. And she had done a lot of shows with Dean, variety shows. And he did a Here's Lucy. And he was his show, he'd go on, rehearsals consisted of walking on stage, singing a song, and then going off and playing golf the rest of the day. Where Lucy, from the very first script read until every minute, she wanted up, up, up. And Dean says, "She's killing me." I've never worked so hard in my life. But it was a funny show. Lucy she'd won a date someplace with Dean Martin's stand-in, some charity group. It turned out the stand-in broke his arm or something, so Dean had filled in for the stand-in.
He was the stand-in for the stand-in?
Yeah, and Lucy didn't know it was really Dean Martin, so she made that was a lot of fun for her.
Was there ever an instance where the whole Rat Pack came together and did something with Lucy?
No, well, not one of our shows. I've seen pictures of the Rat Pack performing in Vegas when Gary Morton was the opening act. He really only got that job because of Lucy. But that's the only time Lucy. Sammy Davis did a show, but the Rat Pack together didn't do anything on our shows. But they were together at different charity events and nightclubs. And Lucy she enjoyed Las Vegas. She liked shooting dice and playing, and one day she came back on Monday morning and she drove herself until she broke her leg, which was in the early 70s, I think. She'd drive to the studio, and I'd meet her at the car, and she said, "Take this to Pat Penn," and Pat was the accountant. It was a fistful of money.
Oh.
I never knew how much, and so I took it down to Pat, and I said, "Pat," Lucy said, "give this to you." But she enjoyed Vegas.
We were there August of 2016, I believe. Or was it 2017? But at the Hard Rock there, upstairs in Vegas, they have kind of a whole section dedicated to Elvis, and Elvis is just a whole different point of intriguement for me, because the guy was a superstar. Did he ever do anything with Lucy?
No. If I heard an Elvis song today, I'd probably try to dance. I loved Elvis, but he didn't. As far as I know, he had nothing to do with our Lucy shows. I sure wish he had.
She might have been starstruck with that one.
I probably would have. Quietly so. I probably would have.
Yeah.
Roy Rogers came to the Desilu in the mid-60s. He was thinking of moving his production company to Desilu. And he was such a polite and well-dressed man, and he was smaller than he looked on the screen, but he was very nice. But he ended up going to someplace in Valley in California to do his production office.
What was his association with Dale Evans?
They were married for many years. I think she'd done a few of his early movies, but they were married until they died, I think.
So I remember growing up in the 80s, I'm a kid of the 80s, that they had a show on TV that would play, and I really don't remember what it was about, because I was more interested in cartoons at the time. But
well, some of those might have been considered cartoons. Pat Buttram was the sidekick, and Dale was a pretty... I don't know if they were married on the show or not. If they played a married couple, I don't remember that. Probably did. But they were married in real life.
And it's kind of interesting that Ronald Reagan was a black and white movie star, and then
Yeah.
later became president.
Yeah, he never came on the set, but I worked for Fran Stark right after we closed Lucy's office. That was my next job, the wife of Ray Stark. And Fran, the Starks and the Reagans were very friendly. He was governor of California at the time. And they would come to the Starks to visit and have dinner, watch a movie. Those are the days way before VCRs. You'd get a first run, a new movie, but you had to have a professional projection to run it and hire a union projection man to
Play it.
Run the
it.
machine.
It wasn't something that you could stick in your TV, and people had screens that would pull down. Lucy had them too.
Actual theater room.
Yeah. And so the Reagans did come over to visit the Starks occasionally when I worked there. But I was always gone home by then. I was invited a few times to stay and watch the movie.
So neat. Now, to go back when you were talking about Look magazine, where you worked earlier, a couple videos ago, what kind of magazine was Look magazine?
It was like the #2 Life magazine, and Look was sort of beautiful pictures and interesting stories about people of interest, not necessarily celebrities. I think while I worked at Look, Mariette Hartley was a brand new actor coming on the scene, and they did a story on Mariette Hartley, who went on to become a pretty big star.
It was before she was big.
Yeah, she was just coming out, had done her first job. I think it was with, oh golly, I think it was maybe, well, I can't remember. It was a Western, I think. Anyway, it was fun. Look magazine was a good job, especially since I met Cleo Smith there. She changed my life. You don't get a job like I had through the employment agency or the newspaper.
Oh, no.
And how neat to see people in a magazine that you might
Yeah.
only have dreamt of meeting, and
Yeah.
later on
Spending
actually
time with.
being there and seeing them perform and
Uh-huh.
being in the midst of them. Wow, that's such a neat story.
Oh, yeah. It was a long and happy association. It was a perfect job. I enjoyed every minute of it.
That's why you stayed so long. You didn't like me when you stayed as long
Yeah,
as
that's
you.
right. 27 years.